when just sinners saved by grace.
Hey everybody, how are you all doing? I had to ask because I first and foremost have to thank you all for showing up and showing out underneath these videos and with the views. I truly appreciate every single one of you. So how are you all doing? Feel free to go ahead and let me know in the comment section, as well as let me know how you felt about this past episode and what are your predictions. I truly appreciate you all, and I do read the comments. And with all of that being said, let's get into Saints and Sinners Season 6, Episode 6. So this episode was really all over the place, so please bear with me as I try to keep some sort of order with this discussion. So I want to start off with the storyline between Josie, Miles, and Tamara. You all know how I feel about this storyline, but because the writers have taken a new turn with the storyline, and that new turn, in my opinion, is relative to the film Misery, I am actually appreciating this storyline. It is very evident that Miles more than likely does need to see a doctor, but Josie will not let him go. In fact, every time he attempts to, she gets physical with him, and to the point where Miles begins to strategically make his escape. One of those strategies includes him trying to drug Josie with some pills that she got from the pharmacy, and those pills are supposed to make Miles sleep. She keeps saying these pills are going to make him feel better, but in actuality, they're only going to put him to sleep, apparently, because they definitely did that for her. So while Josie was asleep, Miles attempted to get into the truck that is parked outside and leave, but unfortunately, he wasn't able to get the car started. Listen, I don't know if you all saw the scene or not, but has anyone ever tried to start their car and accidentally honked the horn? Yeah, neither have I, but apparently Miles did, and of course that honking of the horn could have easily woke Josie up. By the time he made it back into the house, he was able to put away the key and make it look like he didn't touch anything. But next thing you know, Josie pops up on the couch like a jack in the box and asks Miles, "What are you doing?" And Miles manages to play it off and says he was just attempting to grab a blanket and not look like he was attempting to make his escape. So meanwhile, we have this award ceremony going on because we all know that news station WQCL is actually being presented with an award. So there's this big extravaganza that is happening in Cyprus, and everyone and their granddaddy who don't even get along with one another is there. But we have Tamara that approaches Rex and asks Rex, like, "You're not going to ask me to dance?" And on the slide, Tamara manages to steal Rex's phone. Tamara also confronts Rex, asking him questions about Miles and Josie whereabouts, to which Rex was not feeling it and just told her to use her power as CEO of Upsurge to get the answers that she was looking for. And of course, Rex is still salty for how Tamara did him and how she had him voted off of the board of Upsurge. And Tamara's smart. She knew that Rex would not give her direct answers. She pretty much just distracted him long enough to take his cell phone. And speaking of cell phones, Miles too was able to grab Josie's cell phone off the table, and Josie escorted Miles to the bedroom where he started to unlock the phone or make attempts to unlock the phone, but was not successful. However, he got lucky because Tamara used Rex's phone to call Josie's phone, and Miles answered and told Tamara that he had no idea where he was at, but that he wanted her to come get him because Josie had lost her mind. Suddenly, Josie bursts into the room, sees that Miles is on the phone, and she jumps on top of him, straddles him, has duct tape in her hand, and just loses her ever-loving mind. She takes the phone from him and realizes that it's Tamara. Tamara is pleading with her like, "Hey, everything's gonna be okay. It doesn't have to be like this." And Josie's like, "It's too late." So she's full-blown misery at this point. I don't know. It's not looking good for Miles. It's not looking good. But Tamara is in pursuit, and we shall see how that goes. In this episode, we also have Kendrick and Anna at the award ceremony as well. Kendrick is just very excited. He's looking great. He's looking happy. He's full of joy because apparently he has Anna in his life. Now, I still don't feel like Kendrick is attempting to replace Stacia with Anna. I just feel like Anna is there. She is like a connection to Stacia for him, and he also finds himself attracted to her. Kendrick likes to be the man that rescues the damsel in distress, and to him, Anna is definitely a damsel in distress because of her lifestyle, and being that she has a connection to Stacia, that makes it all the more sweeter for Kendrick. However, at the party, Kendrick meets up with Tamara and has Tamara sign this paperwork that is a foundation in Stacia's name, and made Anna the trustee of that foundation. And Tamara even like asked Kendrick, like, you sure? Do you really know her? You really trust her enough to make her the trustee? And Kendrick is like, yeah, it's fine. Go ahead. I'm sure this is what Stacia would want. So Tamara, despite really having her apprehensions about it, went ahead and signed it because after all, Kendrick said he's fine with it. So it's pretty much on Kendrick at that point. Also at the party, while Kendrick is chopping it up with Anna, he ends up seeing Ray Ray, and it's like everything goes black for Kendrick because he goes in on Ray Ray. Listen, when it comes to the women in Kendrick's life, Kendrick is about that life, okay? Kendrick don't care who you are. You think Kendrick cares that he stands at 5 feet and Ray Ray stands at 7 feet? No, Kendrick does not care. Size doesn't matter. Kendrick is about that life. You gotta respect him. You put some respect on Kendrick's name because he will protect the women in his life. And Kendrick went straight for Ray Ray, and Ray Ray is like, listen, he only got but so much patience. And I know Ray Ray kept saying, we're family, or whatever the case may be. But as you can see in this episode, Ray Ray could care less about family. I don't know why he has so much patience with Kendrick. Maybe because they were at that gathering. So Ray Ray is attempting to make his entrance into Cyprus as a legitimate man. At least that's what he's attempting to portray. He's putting on appearance. So in my opinion, that is the reason why Ray Ray didn't like Kendrick's behind up, because he easily could have, or he could have had him thrown out of the ceremony. But I truly believe that Ray Ray was attempting to make his appearance in Cyprus as something positive and just wanted to keep the confrontation down. So Kendrick got a pass in that situation. However, Ray Ray also noticed that Kendrick was with Anna, who, listen, I may say this wrong, but did he call Anna sci-fi? I think he called Anna sci-fi. I haven't the slightest idea. But apparently Ray Ray made a reference to the fact that the girls at the club, Ray Ray's words, not mine, were missing Anna because Anna had not been dancing at the club, at Ray Ray's club, because apparently Kendrick is pretty much, again, rescuing her, that damsel in distress storyline. So Ray Ray is telling Anna, like, listen, you're gonna come back. You're not just gonna walk away. And Kendrick is not having it. So this whole scenario is interesting. I'm very curious to see what will be the dynamic, if any, between Kendrick and Ray Ray as we move forward. However, Kendrick got some other problems because Kendrick ended up leaving the party after having this conversation with his sister Christy, who also warned him, like, hey, you sure you're not replacing Stacia with Anna because you don't really know her that well? And of course, whenever someone is attempting to point that out, Kendrick gets into his little hissy fits. So he went home and he could not open his garage door. He could not open his front door. And then he called out for Anna, who he already knew would be home before he got there. And Anna just stood in the window. And in that moment, I got a Romeo and Juliet scenario in my head because of the fact that, Kendrick is standing outside yelling at the top window, kind of like Juliet on the balcony, and Romeo, the Romeo, where I thought Romeo, but no, that's not what was happening here. I don't know I don't know what was happening there, because that wasn't a romantic situation, because Anna definitely was just standing in the window staring at Kendrick like, I'm not opening that door. This could be one or two things. Either Ray Ray has one of his men holding Anna up in that house and holding her hostage, and she's just standing there because she doesn't want Kendrick to get hurt, so she doesn't know what to say. Or Anna really has lost her ever-loving mind and has changed all the locks and is keeping Kendrick out the house. So again, that's something we can hopefully look forward to seeing and finding out more about in the next episode. And Leona may be going through an illness, but apparently that is not stopping her from getting out and enjoying this extravaganza in Cyprus. And then she had the nerves to go to the bar. Like, Leona, if you don't go, sit down. But anyway, Leona ends up approaching Ray Ray and attempted to share this bond with him. And I don't believe she wanted anything from him other than to acknowledge that she is his mother. It appears that she wants him to know that even though she left him to be raised by another woman in Athens, she is still his mother and she has always been there for him. If there is anything we should have learned by now about Ray Ray, it is that he does not care about anyone around him other than himself, and he definitely does not play into the family card. Whoever pulls out the family card, whether it's Rex, whether it's Ella, he doesn't care. Heck, he tried to pull it out on Kendrick. I don't think he cared really in that moment. It was just more so about him not trying to look a certain way in front of the prestige people of Cyprus. But Ray Ray does not care about family, and Leona is no exception. There were even moments that I mistaken his facial expressions as sympathy, but in actuality, I think it was more so disgust, because when Christy approached Ray Ray later on in the episode in asking him could he donate a kidney for Leona because her illness would lead to death if she did not get a kidney, it looked as though Ray Ray was being sympathetic. So he ends up talking to Leona again at the bar and lets her know that Christy made that request of him. And Leona is like, oh gosh, why did she do that? You wasn't supposed to know. And literally, Ray Ray plays this role really well of making it seem like he cared about Leona. He leaned into Leona and he said, Mom, maybe I came into your life just in time to save it, but I won't. I was like, no, this man didn't. And he grabbed Leona aggressively and told her, like, he pretty much could care less about her dying. So it goes to show that Ray Ray does not care. Ray Ray is looking at everyone like they are the enemy. Not to mention, Ray Ray did not grow up knowing Leona, let alone knowing that she was his mother. So Ray Ray is really all about Ray Ray. And to be honest, how many of us really have any sympathy for Leona when it comes to this particular situation? Because we all know Leona has done evil things throughout the season. So pretty much Leona, in my opinion, is receiving karmic justice. However, Leona did make a phone call immediately after Ray Ray left, and she said change of plans. So I don't know what Leona plans on doing. I haven't the slightest idea what is happening or what is getting ready to transpire. I don't feel as though Leona would hurt Ray Ray because after all, he is her blood. He is her legitimate child, but we shall see. And geez, Pete Louise, this definitely was a evening full of Ray Ray, because aside from all these other storylines that Ray Ray seems to overlap in, he also is a part of this storyline that is happening between Jabari, Rex, then there is the storyline that is happening between Ella, then there's Angela, then there's Levi, as well as Christy and Detective Hayden. And if you give me a second, I will go ahead and explain this all. Before the event even began on the red carpet, Ella approached Angela and Ray Ray, who were taking photos, and in my opinion, this scene represented the fact that Ella wanted to make sure that they all were on one accord, that they all understood that they were all in this together. However, we can clearly see that everyone had their own selfish ulterior motives, and Ella was soon to be left out in the dark. But before we got to that point, we also saw that Ray Ray and Angela wanted to dismantle Jabari's life. So Angela approached Jabari about selling his shares of WQCL to her, and I don't know what she has up in her sleeve, but apparently she went back to Ray Ray to explain that that was her angle. And Ray Ray just seems to be getting irritated with Angela because Angela is getting a little too comfortable with making moves and coming back to him and letting him know. It's like Ray Ray is like, okay, I only need you for a little bit of something, for me here in Cyprus, but don't get ahead of yourself. I'm not to be messed with. That is the vibes I was getting. Let me know what you all were getting. I think Angela's getting a little too comfortable with Ray Ray and not realizing that him as well as Levi could care less about her and her child's well-being. And to be honest, I do believe that Angela too will receive her karmic justice by the end of this season. However, getting back to the situation, Ray Ray approaches Jabari and lets Jabari know, like, hey, I know about your father. And Jabari is just over it. He's tired of the games. He's like, just tell me what the heck happened to my father. And Ray Ray goes, well, I can't tell you, but I know Rex can. And it was in that moment that Rex knew he had messed up. We all knew this moment would come, and Jabari was PO'd. Jabari was PO'd, and he approached Rex for the truth. Rex did try to tap dance his way out of it, but Jabari recognized game, and he told Rex to tell the truth, and Rex did so and admitted that he did kill his father, but he did not get a chance to give an explanation because at that point, Jabari went to pull out his piece. Rex hurried up and grabbed Jabari's arm to stop him and said, not here. And again, they're at this very formal event and it's about appearances. So, I truly believe if they had been anywhere else, Jabari would have proceeded to take Rex out. But it is going to be interesting, again, moving forward to see how that unfolds. Or will Rex get a chance to explain what exactly happened between him and Jabari's father? Last but not least, because y'all know I like to save the best for last, we have the situation with Christy, Ella, Levi, Ray Ray. Look, it's too many people to name. But anyway, Detective Hayden in this episode is so upset. He was so upset. He approached Ella, told her he knew the truth. Ella told him, listen, you may be a dog, but I put down dogs. Better men have tried to take me out. Like I told you all in the last episode, Ella, more than likely, if she ever was approached by Hayden and Hayden was making these threats to take her down, she was going to resort to violence. And that's pretty much what she alluded to in this episode. But I believe that Hayden is a whole different competition. I don't know. Maybe he isn't ready. We'll see. However, he doesn't have to do much because in this episode, there was something that occurred at the very beginning. At Christy's house, when she was getting ready for the event, the extravaganza, she left some sort of safe open. And in that safe was a manila envelope. We also saw this guy, who I call this guy, that was on her property and headed towards her home as she drove away for the ceremony. So fast forward to the actual event. Levi is on stage accepting his award. You got all these crooked people in the darn audience looking all crazy. And Levi drops a bomb and says, listen, there's some criminal activity going on in Cyprus. We got to get rid of it. We can't have it. We can't have it. I can't have it. And everyone's looking like, who he's talking about? Because heck, everyone in the audience just about are criminals. Next thing you know, Levi pulls out that very same manila envelope that we saw him at the party get from this guy, and he gave the guy money in exchange for the manila envelope. We see him pull out the manila envelope and we see him play a recording, and that recording is from some seasons back when Ella confessed to Christy that she indeed had murdered some individuals. Now these two individuals were a woman by the name of Sherry Tucker and a detective by the name of, I believe, Detective Carlson. Now Sherry Tucker was killed in season 3 by Ella because Sherry Tucker wanted to recall Ella's mayoral seat. Then we have Detective Carlson, who began to do the investigation surrounding Sherry Tucker's death. He even got Leona's assistance because remember at that time Leona was PO'd. She had been placed in a mental institution and it seemed as though she was doing anything she could to take Ella down. Leona ended up helping Detective Carlson. However, Leona also later on confessed to Ella after she realized Ella had took Detective Carlson out that she did set Ella up to take Detective Carlson out. Whether Leona set up Ella to kill Detective Carlson or not doesn't even matter because in the end it was Ella that took actions in her own hand and eliminated Sherry Tucker as well as Detective Carlson. And all of that occurred between season 3 and season 4. So fast forward to now, season 6, and Levi has got a hold of the recording that clearly has Ella on tape confessing to these crimes, and District Attorney Hayden is super excited to arrest her, and everyone in the room is like, oh my goodness, with the exception of Leona and I believe Christy. No one else cares. I think everyone is pretty much celebrating internally that Ella is being apprehended. So it is going to be interesting to see where things are getting ready to head. What direction are we heading in? Because we definitely have this situation with Ray Ray and Levi running some sort of power play. I feel like Ray Ray and Levi are good counterparts because Levi doesn't want all of Cyprus. Levi just wants his portion of things, which is mainly WQCL and whatever recognition he can get. But you have Ray Ray who's playing more on a larger scale. So he's going to bump heads with those who are also trying to play at a larger scale, such as the Ellas and the Leonas, or was Leona at some point. I think Leona's kind of falling back from that, but also Rex. And so I feel like this is we have a lot more chaos to see. So that is it, you all. I'm sorry the video is so long, but this episode was packed with so much juiciness that I did not want to condense this episode, this discussion too much. But let me know what your predictions are in the comment section. Let me know what you all think. And that is it. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.